Psaltry started in my mind, just imagining that I was going to own something, even though I didn't know how to own it.
Yeah.
But all I wanted was a business that was just going to take people out of poverty. We started by training them, give them fertilizer. We started with 17 farmers. Today we are above 20,000 farmers.
Wow.
Anytime I want to step aside,
Yeah.
and I remember, 500 staff, we go. 20,000 farmers, we have nobody to pick that. I dust myself and say, okay, no, I have to keep going.
Keep going.
I have to keep going. And it will just be one funny day that you just see someone who is able to say, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma, but for you, ma. Thank you so much, ma. And you just get your energy for the day. Not because they said thank you, but because what you are doing have put food on somebody's table, have been able to send people to school, have been able to transform lives. Above all, transform communities.
Yes.
Not just one community.
Yeah. No, it's
We've been able
evident.
to transform about 50 communities.
Just you one.
Just us.
Wow.
Because it's not just me.
No, but it's your vision.
Everybody that
So
have jumped into the
You must
vision
take
as
your
well.
flowers. You must take your flowers. Just you one. Welcome to The Builders, which is Nidacity's podcast. So today's Nigerian Audacity is a special case. We are in Adowaye village in Isheyin local government, Oyo state. And our guest today is a biochemist turned industrialist turned development economist, Mrs. Yemisi Iranloye. And the most exciting thing about her is what's around us. So she runs a cassava-based industrial ecosystem. They produce food-grade starch. They produce sorbitol. They produce fructose. These are ingredients in the food industry which Nigeria has traditionally imported. And in 15 years, she has run this business from this village. It's not her village, but she'll tell us how she got here. Welcome, Ma. I don't want to talk too much about what you've done. I want you to tell us your story.
Thank you.
How did you get here?
Thank you, and welcome to Adowaye.
Thank
nice
you.
to have you here.
Thank you.
How did I get here? It's a long story. 20 years ago, I was still in Agro, and I was working with Cassava, really. That was when, during the Baba Obasanjo regime, when Cassava was being pushed.
Yes. They had this cassava revolution.
Yes, exactly. So we were among those that was my first encounter with cassava. And we were using it in that factory to produce glucose syrup. So on that very day, I had this farmer who should be about 60, 58, 60. So he brought his crop and everything was spoiled. And he was rejected. So I saw him by the weighbridge almost crying. I mean, when you see an old man disgruntled, you know that, what's wrong with you? And he said, that they just rejected all his crop. And it's because he was been on the road for 5 days and the cassava is in a container and everything has gotten rotten. I felt really sad for him. I took him to my then boss, who was a very kind man. And then I told him that, this guy has been one of our best, supplying us raw material. And now he's had this problem. And he borrowed the money. He's going to die if we don't help him. So we agreed that, okay, we'll pay him for that crop.
The spoiled crop.
Yes, but that as a loan.
Yeah.
Then as he brings 5 times, we'll be removing it until he finished paying. I guarantee that I know him. Even though I didn't know him to his house, but I just felt at his age, he wasn't going to run away. And truly, he did run away. But then, when I got home that day, I couldn't sleep. I just felt, why? This old man at his age didn't need to work this much. This plant should have actually been close to him. And let me say about 3 days after, the name Psaltry came and I knew that I was going to set up a business that was going to be inclusive in nature, that was going to put small other farmers in the center stage of it and transform them from being small to being big, and they will be able to be free from poverty. I was just a salary earner that I just had that dream. And I had this paper by my bedside. I remember when I wake up, when I sleep and wake up, a new concept will come and I'll just write it. And that was how Psaltry was born. And the rest
Did it
is
start
history.
here?
No, this is where Psaltry started. It started in my brain. Psaltry started in my mind. Just imagining that I was going to own something, even though I didn't know how to own it.
Yeah.
But all I wanted was a business that was just going to take people out of poverty and make people like that old man not to cry.
To cry.
That was all I knew. What I wanted to do, I didn't know. But then the bottom line was, I wanted a business that was going to be inclusive.
Was that old man from around here?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, I think after a year or two, it became clearer that I wanted to set up a starch factory. And I came after him and I asked if I could get land around, that he took me from his village in Lalate and brought me here, that they have land here. And I spoke with the landowners that they have money. So, I mean, I use my mouth to get
Your mouth sometimes can be money.
Yes. But then because the man spoke so highly of me, he told them that he was sure that I was going to pay if they can allow me. So they allowed me to start to farm. So every weekend.
Okay, you were farming then?
Yes, just started by farming. I didn't start with the factory. So I go to work Monday to Friday. Saturday morning, 6 a.m., I leave Lagos and drive down with my little son, who is now an engineer. And then we come down here, and then we roast yam under one tree there. I wish there was time for you to drive there. And then I was doing yam and maize and cassava. Those were my 3 crops. And then I'll sell them and then take the money and pay for my land.
Wow.
So that was how I was able to pay for the land.
How long did it take you to pay for the land?
3 years, honestly.
3 years. Wow.
And it was small money,
Yeah.
okay, but it took me 3 years. It took me 3 years to fully pay for the land. So, but that's the story of how I came here.
And
it
then-
was simply empathy. It was just simply empathy.
So as we were driving here, what you described as a village looked like a town. And what we're getting from the people is since you located here and started being an off-taker for, I think it's about 25,000, 24,000, mainly female farmers.
Yeah.
There's been an absolute transformation in the wealth of the area.
Sure.
Is that an exaggeration? No?
No. When we got here, the people were farming corn and yam. That was their crop. That was why I just didn't do cassava alone.
Right.
I brought cassava. They were farming just cassava for food, just to make fufu and
Right.
gari, and maybe leave the rest for their cows, because they've allowed some Fulanis to settle, so they give those ones too. But their main crop was maize and yam.
Okay.
So I brought cassava and I said, okay, I knew that when I checked their yields, they were very bad. The yield was bad. So I went to IITA, got some improved variety
Of cassava.
and then started farming it, multiplying it. Don't forget, I just come over the weekend, just like a part-time
Yeah.
job. So I had 1 or 2 guys that helped me. I rent tractors and all. I wanted to understand the farming thing. If I was going to help, I need to understand their pain.
Right.
So I needed to feel where their pain is, and then I can be able to know how to help. The community, the village, Alaide village itself, had just about 5 huts when we came here. The real town, Ado-Awaye, had maybe average 20, 30 buildings maximum, with just 2 pickups that carry crop. It was just a small town. But because our own major aim is to build wealth along with our farmers. So we started by, in fact, almost 50% of all our profit was going to growing the farmers. We started by training them, we give them fertilizer. We started with 17 farmers. Today we are above 20,000 farmers.
Wow.
So the 17 farmers, their lives were transformed.
Yeah.
And then they became the herald of hope. And then we started growing and growing. We started with 3 women and 14 men. But today we have more women in our farming.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, about 65% of our farming population are
women.
Yes, because we found out that the women were just easy to work with. They are we don't need to chase them to get the farmers to repay the loans that we give to them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been moving from one stage, primitive stage, you keep improving it. Then later we had international agencies coming to help us, like Agra, 2Scale, IFC, IDH, and MasterCard, and the rest of them coming to help us, help these women, or both men, youths generally, to help us to give them fertilizers and herbicides, helping them to be able to grow from 1 acre. Averagely today, for those of them that have been with us for about 5 years, should have about 12.5 acres.
That's huge. But I think the difference, and I want to just bring out a couple of things that you've said. You're located near the grower. So the transport costs, the post-harvest losses, all that is additional value for both you and for the farmer, right?
Yes.
But more than that, what you've described worries me a little bit. And I'll tell you why. You've described what we call extension workers, right? Developing the farmers, improving their capacity. Government have spent a lot of money trying to do this. Why have you succeeded and they have failed?
Okay. We know our farmers. We deal with real farmers. We don't deal with ghost farmers. We don't also deal with farmers, portfolio farmers that come up when there's input to be distributed. We know these farmers by name. We know their location. We have field officers that live in the villages where our farmers live.
So,
then we don't give them money.
Right.
We give them inputs.
But government try to do that.
But government give inputs to farmers they don't really know. Most of those inputs were not getting to farmers. Nigerian farmers are honest people. Nigerian farmers are good people. But when input is to be distributed, and they say, 5 million fertilizer bags were distributed in Oyo State, those days, how many of these 5,000 actually got to farmers? In fact, farmers will go and buy from those who got, from the connection of those they know.
Right. So the difference, and I guess this is why the international development agencies are so excited about you, because you've been able to give impact, deliver impact. But basically, you've given us a model that, look, if you really want to improve farmers' lives, you need to attach them to an off-taker, and you need to work through the off-taker.
Yes.
Wow. I hope
We use softwares. We use software to manage them. I mean, when we started with these farmers, they couldn't read and write. Today, there's practically none of my farmers that cannot do calculation of their farms.
Wow. They
know how much they spend and they know how much they will make. But when we started, they didn't know. They just grow and then they will spend maybe 200,000 to make 100,000. They can't remember how much they actually spend. But through our agronomy practices and training, they're able to know how much they spend and how much they will make and how much they are selling. Are they making profit or they are not making profit?
Wow.
So we've been able to grow their own wealth. They're able to be well informed. And then at some point we move them, they graduate from getting input from us to getting loans. So when they get loans, we provide collateral. We use the factory as collateral for them. So that goes off our balance sheet instead of us providing them with, instead of us being the one giving them the money or the inputs, we get the banks to do that. So we can take more farmers.
Right. This is so exciting. This is so exciting. Tell me about you, because you're a biochemist. Where have you learned business? Because you've just broken down a P&L for me. You've just broken down gross profit, net profit, all the things that we accountants. What's your business background?
Well, I'm a core scientist, and I always said I'm a researcher. I like to research. So we are very innovative here in Sultra. That's translates to the reason why we're able to do from starch to flour to glucose to sorbitol and now to other things that is in the making. However, when you start to do business, you must know the language of business and the language of money. So I went to business school. I went to Stanford Business School, Stanford Seed, for 9 months. Was a course that was very easy for me to attend because I go 1 week in a month to Ghana, and then of course also learning on the job. I knew if you have to run a business like this, you must know the numbers.
Yeah.
So I have to also learn the numbers. And in my former company, in the company I worked before I owned my own in Eka Group, my boss was a biochemist and a chartered accountant.
Oh, wow.
And because I was working directly with him, I understood cash flow, especially cash flow, very well. And because I developed that other project, so I knew what it takes to put up a project, a business together, a project together. So I would say that my first learning was from
on the job.
On the job.
Right.
And then by the time I started 10 years ago, I went to business school, Stanford, and then from there, of course, then I was also in El Camino College in California. It's also an entrepreneurship business school.
Right.
For I think a pocket of courses here and there.
Right.
Just developing myself.
Right.
Because you are running the business. So
right.
You must know the language of business.
So your ecosystem is amazing because you generate your own power. You recycle your own water. Nothing wastes. So the byproduct of the cassava creates animal feed. Is that all self-taught? Is that all? I mean, how has that come about?
Okay. It all started from just having one factory.
Okay.
20 tons per day, and then 2015 we had a second plant. But then we knew that when we're here, we're alone. Initially, the waste was not a problem. But we knew that if we're going to expand, then we must do something about this waste. So 8 years ago, we decided, okay, let's have a waste treatment plant. That was a chunk of money. We had to do that. And we also knew that this waste can be turned into, being a researcher and an innovative person, I wanted everything to turn into money, including my wastewater. In fact, the wastewater is what we use in generating biogas. Even though the biogas plant didn't work out very well, but we're still working on that. But the wastewater for biogas, the pulp, that is the solid waste for animal feed and pellets. We use the pellet to fire our boiler. We add it to palm kernel shell to fire the boiler to reduce our costs. And when we got here, it was all no lights. There was nothing. It was a forest.
Yeah.
So we started with a generator, one generator. We saw that the cost of, all our profit was going for power. So we took a loan and then brought power over from Isai. Isai to this place is about 20 kilometers or thereabout. So we brought power over 20 to 30 kilometers here. Dedicated. We used about 3-4 years to make the payment. And then eventually the light started to
fluctuate.
In just 30 minutes, it would have gone 5 times. Not suitable for manufacturing.
Yeah.
So we knew we needed to generate our own power. Luckily for us, our investors, Aliti IDF, one of the things they wanted us to do was see how we can be more profitable. And I said, look, we need to generate our own power. Looks big. Looks like, will we ever be able to do this? Whenever I talk about it some 10 years ago, it's always like, oh, this is a big dream. Yeah. How? And it's billions of naira to generate your own power. But then with the support of Alitia and all the advices and all of that, today we're generating our 1.6 megawatt power. And we are storing about 1.1 megawatts in batteries, which we use to blend the government power that is epileptic. We don't no longer see it.
Right.
Because it's landing on the battery. So we don't see the epileptic nature of the power. And that's why we can run a hydrogen plant today. Because you can't run a hydrogen plant except you have a steady power.
So you talked about taking investment. How has that been? How did you prepare yourself for that? How was that process? Did they come to you? Did you go to them? How has that been?
Okay, so when it was time, when I knew it was time, it was 100% family business. But when I knew it was time to open up was when we did the sorbitol plant.
Okay.
And I was getting a bit overwhelmed. So I was looking for a female-run equity. So I came across Alitia IDF.
That's Tokumbo Ishmael.
Yes. So I came across Tokumbo, and I remember the first day I called her and I introduced myself. And she was quite excited. Oh, that she's come across me somewhere. We're not very loud. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it takes somebody who is really looking for us to find us. But somehow she's heard about us. And that was how we started working. And then we looked at the terms. I think in about 6 months, we were able to close the deal. Yeah, about 6 months, we were able to close the deal. So, and since then, it's been very, very rewarding because they've been able to encourage us to do like the power
Yeah.
they did, encourage us becoming more environmentally friendly, gender. Of course, the gender is a gender lens fund, gender, and then just strengthening the board, helping us look. I mean, a second eye on your books,
Yeah.
and then helping you to sit up and run and do better. So it's.
So would you
it's
say, because for some of our viewers, they are running a family, it's a family-run business. Would you say that there was additional value beyond the money from seeking outside investment?
Yes, because the money is something else. The fact that you have somebody else other than yourself looking at your business,
Yeah.
is more than money. Because if you are the only one looking at it, you won't even see what other people are helping you to see. Having the Alitia on our board pushes us to do planning better.
Okay.
Especially planning.
Okay.
Help us to do planning better. You get some queries to say, why this, why that? And then you're able to look at things properly before you do them.
But some entrepreneurs will tell you that the whole reason for them for being an entrepreneur is not having someone asking you questions, making you accountable. How has your experience of that been?
I've been accountable before Alitia came in. We had a board.
Okay. So you set up the corporate governance.
We had a board from the time I went to Stanford. As soon as I came back from Stanford, we had a board. In fact, our first chairman was the MD of a bank. Yeah, Chief Bolaji, the former ED of a bank, PHB.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Set up a board. Because that's it. I would say that such I've gone this far because I've been accountable to people.
Right. Even though it was your own business.
Yes. That's the only way I could have gone this far. Somebody said, no, don't do this. Okay, so on our board, we always have an accountant, a lawyer, a finance person.
Wow.
So if I bring anything finance, somebody is able to say, have you looked at it this way? Why don't you go and look at these numbers again? Anything that has to do with legal, somebody is there to say, from my experience, this is the way. And then if it's something that has to do with process, I always have somebody that have a process experience from any of the FMCGs. It's best that you have a board. The reason, and a blended board, that's a board that has all the disciplines to help you, to guide you. You can't just be expert of everything. You can't be an accountant, a lawyer, a this and that. Only you. It's not possible. So you must at least have a board, and please allow your board to work and allow them to help you. So that, I mean, there's so many wrong decisions I would have taken.
Really?
That
without the board?
Without the board. There are occasionally sometimes I could insist to say no as an entrepreneur. I can see this. And sometimes when I insist that way on one or two occasions, they allow you to go to say, okay, we believe you know what you are doing here. And most of the time, it just goes right.
Right.
But 101 times, when they say, don't do this, I take a step back and I go and check.
Yeah.
Why? And
Yeah.
I mean, you understand. Most
Yeah.
of the time, I see that they're actually correct,
Right.
and they are right.
So they're adding a lot of
A
value to
lot
what you're
of
doing.
value. So, but by the time Alitia came, they came to strengthen the board. We
Yes.
already had the board, but they came in, brought their own expertise, and they're able to strengthen the board.
And you've grown.
Oh, we've grown from the time they've been here. They came in 2022. It's after they came that we were able to perfect the sorbitol plant. We're able to start to produce glucose. We generated our own power. When they came, we didn't have this number of farmers. We've jumped almost 300% more than the numbers we had to this time that they're here. They've been very, very understanding. It's really a patient investment.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
patient investment.
Yeah.
And then they trust. They also believe in us.
Yeah.
They believe we know what we are doing.
Well, I think you've been in business, 15 years?
Well, Psaltry is 20 years.
I was going to say, if we add your 3 years to pay off the
No,
loan.
we Psaltry is 20 years.
Right.
5 years off, 15 years in active manufacturing.
Wow.
So we've been manufacturing for 15 years.
So let me ask you now to speak to up and coming entrepreneurs, because you've been there, you've survived. So I have 20 years in manufacturing in Nigeria. In some other countries, they'll give you a medal. They'll call you to meet the Queen and give you a medal. But so on Nigeria's behalf, we give you a medal for what you've done. But talk to young entrepreneurs who are coming up about staying power. How did you keep going? Because you've been through some tough times.
It was tough. I just don't like to talk too much about the negative part of it, but it was really tough. But I'll say what kept me going is the joy of seeing these farmers better. Oh, the day I broke up crying was the day I went to Adoawaye. One of our farmers had a child. Sometimes you try to be in their lives.
Yeah.
Too. Like today, I'm going for an occasion. One of my farmers
And looking great.
It's like one of our farmers is doing an occasion and had come to. So I said I was going to come. So occasionally I go for a few, and a crowd of women came hugging me, do you remember that my daughter? What happened to her? Oh, I've been able to pay her fees to go to the UK.
From this farming.
From farming, a woman, Elijah. And she went to America as well. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Money can give you some joy. Money have its own place.
Yeah.
But the joy of being a blessing cannot be quantified with money. No. Money gives you a kind of joy. Wealth, okay, let me say wealth, give you a kind of joy. But the joy that comes with being a blessing is bigger and cannot be described, cannot be compared with the joy you get when you have money.
Wow.
And that's what have been keeping me going.
Deep.
Anytime I want to step aside,
Yeah.
and I remember, 500 staff, we go. 20,000 farmers, we have nobody to pick that. I dust myself and say, okay, no, I have to keep going.
Keep going.
I have to keep going. And it will just be one funny day that you just see someone who is able to say, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma, but for you, ma. Thank you so much, ma. And you just get your energy for the day. Not because they said thank you, but because what you are doing have put food on somebody's table, have been able to send people to school, have been able to transform lives. Above all, transform communities.
Yes.
Not just one community.
Yeah. No, it's
We've been able to
evident.
transform about 50 communities.
Just you one.
Just us.
Wow.
Because it's not just me.
No, but it's your vision.
Everybody that
So
have jumped into the vision.
You must take your flowers. You must take your flowers. Just you one. And so well done, so exciting. Because Nidacity, one of the things I'm trying to do with Nigerian Audacity is to show Nigeria as it is. People taking risks, people doing bold, exciting things. Manufacturing in Nigeria, tough. Food, tough. Food grade ingredients, tougher. Selling to multilaterals who have a inbuilt bias to buy from abroad.
Yeah.
Right? To buy from abroad, it's not easy to break into that. So the number of things you've done and then add to it impact. I mean, it's an incredible business, incredible story. That's why we came. So when I began to put the word out, everybody said, you need to talk to Psaltry. Psaltry, who is Psaltry? And then I began to go, oh, wow. So that's why we jumped in a car and said, no, this one, we will see with our own eyes. You know, a glucose plant, sorbitol, sweeteners. These are not things that people expect to be made in Nigeria. Not Lagos, not Ibadan. Here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Ishayin. If you're from Ishayin, I'm not saying it's a bad place, but I'm saying let's give this woman her flowers for what she's achieved, and for that, the model. I think for me, from a policy perspective, I'm just excited at the model that proves this can be done. All we need now is 100 more of yous.
Yeah.
Do you have a sister? A daughter?
I have a daughter.
Oh, well, let's get hold of her. Send her to another village to replicate what you've done, because it is phenomenal. It's incredible. And you could see it. We were driving through and I saw the kids. You know, normally when you drive through villages, you know how kids are dressed. See these kids looking dapper, just walking along, looking dapper.
6:30 every morning, a bus comes from one of the best schools in Ishayin to take the children from this village, because their parents are rich enough to send them to private schools.
Wow. Well done.
When we came here, girls were not going to school because it's a Muslim-dominated environment. And the boys are normally, of course, what you expect is you have more wives. And so all the wives have children about the same time, and all of them are ready to go to uni at the same time. Most of the time, the boys go and they ask the girls to wait behind.
Yeah.
But today,
mothers
are
and
fighting
with
for
mothers,
their daughters.
once you show us away.
Yes.
That's
Everybody
the
that says, who does not want a Yemisi in their family? So the girls are now going to school. And then Psaltry also have a foundation now for girls to be able to go to university.
Wow.
And we have about 21 girls today. Some do medicine, some do engineering, that are in the uni because of our foundation. And we even have a girl with disability, no names at all, doing nursing education among the mix. So
it must be very gratifying.
Yeah.
It must be extremely gratifying. Fantastic. I mean, the impact is deep, but you've had to relocate here. This is not where you're from. So, but you're here. You live here.
Yeah, we have accommodation
here in the community.
Yeah.
Do you
feel
feel
in the compound? Yeah,
in the compound. Do you feel a little bit? You were a Lagos woman.
Passion and vision takes some things off you. For 5 years I was here. I don't think I even went to Lagos, except maybe just go for meetings and come back. And you're building a new community, new friends, new family, kind of. So these guys became my family. After 5 years, I think, and I built a house in Ibadan.
Okay.
So I started going to Ibadan over the weekend.
But Ibadan is how many?
1 hour, 30 minutes.
1 hour, 30 minutes. So it's not near.
Yeah, well, over the week I go on Friday and then I'm back on Sunday. But some weekends I stay over. We have a chapel.
Right.
We have, this
it's an ecosystem.
It's a complete ecosystem. We're in a world of our own, okay? So, and then so weekend I go wind down and then come back again on Mondays. And so most staff that work here also work Monday to Friday. We run shifts so they can go home. Gradually, a lot of them started moving their families down to Ado-Awaye to live there. And some go over the weekend. Yeah. And then we just enjoy the nature. You can imagine. Good breeze, good food,
lovely.
Fresh food.
It's lovely. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's actually scenic. Yeah. I think is the right word. When you look around, look and see the hills. It's scenic. And it's absolutely beautiful. So tell me about the future. Where's Psaltry going? What shall we expect from Psaltry? I mean, this one-woman riot squad has done so much, and you still have a lot of energy. So what's next for you?
I think we'll expand what we are doing now, expand it to be able to do more volume. And then we'll do 1 or 2 more innovative products, which is already in the pipeline, it's already in the lab. We're cooking. It takes about 3 years to bring a new product out, really. to bring a new product even to start to test run.
Yeah.
I mean, to start to even run. So behind the scene, you are doing a lot of, so part time,
Yeah.
even when you are running one, you're already thinking of another. So we're looking at other high end products
Right.
for soft drink companies,
Yeah.
sugar substitute, other
Yeah.
sugar substitutes,
Yeah.
for the like of bottling companies.
Yes.
And then we're also looking at protein from plant protein.
Plant protein.
Yeah, from
Wow.
plant protein as well.
That's
We're already
very
working
topical.
we're already working on that in the
lab.
research lab. So in the next 3 years, we'll be bringing out other strong innovations, strong direction.
Is R&D very important in what you do, the research and development?
Yes, it
Is that because you're a scientist or because you think that it's...
I think and I know that if you have to be futuristic,
Yeah.
there is no company that is... Okay, talk of Cargill,
Yeah.
Ingridon,
Hmm.
all those names,
Yeah.
they have
Strong
strong
R&D.
R&D.
Yeah.
In fact, 30% of their budget goes to R&D.
R&D.
Continuous R&D, continuous improvement.
How has R&D been able to position you?
I mean, that's why we can do good new things.
Right.
That's why we're able to produce the like of sorbitol, glucose. Even the glucose we are producing almost 3 different types of glucose for chocolate industry and all. They are specialized products.
Right.
It's not just
It's not-
so they are very specialized
Right.
products. So it's R&D. It's a lot of time and money.
Money and patience.
And patient is the word.
Yeah.
And that's why you need patient capital to run a business like this.
Right. Right.
But when it starts to make its money,
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah.
it's oil money.
No, we could. I
That's
like
the
that.
truth.
You had a full career, because for some people, I think some women think, oh, I've missed it. I didn't start my business in my 20s, in my 30s. I've missed it. But you've come at it at the right time and you've done an amazing job. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Let me finally ask you this. How much more supportive do you need governments to be?
I like that question, and it's a good one.
And I ask it as somebody who's been in government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're ever going to feed ourselves, really, truly feed ourselves, and be sufficient, being able to provide enough raw material for all the multinationals, we need to look at agriculture more holistically.
Okay.
There's no manufacturing without agriculture.
Okay.
There's none.
Okay.
Okay, because even if you talk about cables, it's mining, it's agriculture. The clothes you wear is cotton. What? Which manufacturing outfit does not have a glimpse of agriculture? There is none. So we just need to look at it holistically, means looking at every
End to
bit,
end.
end to end,
Right.
and just enter it and say, we'll do this. If it's cocoa we are taking, let's take it from beginning to the end and deal with it and protect it. And know that this one, we want to be known for it.
Right. Right.
We want to be champion for cocoa. We want to be champion for cassava. And we're going to use cassava to replace sugar. And we're going to use cassava, at least all manufacturing outfit using anything that is related to cassava, either as a substitute. All of it must be bought locally. And we're going to make this X amount of dollars in savings from this value chain. We might not be able to do all, but if we pick 5, let's use that 5 end to end.
So do you think it's at federal level or at state level?
Both, even up to local government.
Right.
Both. The federal have their responsibility in policies. In policies, for example, we can't be producing cassava starch in Nigeria
Yeah.
and be importing cornstarch into
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's not going to allow the cassava starch industry to grow.
So we need some protection.
I just came back from Kenya. Okay?
Yeah.
And the company was negotiating cassava starch with me. And I asked, what's the tariff? They said 25%. What of cornstarch? They said 5%. I said, why? They said, oh, the cassava starch industry is about to start. There are 3 small factories coming up. So they are protecting them. And I said, that is it. That's it. There must be just some form of protection for any industry we want to grow. It's done everywhere.
Yeah.
We are not saying, oh, give us money. Dash us. No, we are just saying, recognize that we are here.
Yeah. And we're taking risks.
And we are taking risks.
And we're developing people.
And we are developing people.
Yeah.
Millions of people take their daily pay, their livelihood from the enterprise that we are having.
Yeah.
So whatever form of protection in terms of
tariff,
especially loans, single-digit loan, some input, some grants, whatever. Once that company does not die, the millions of people that take their daily life from that company benefit from it. I think where we've been getting it wrong is supporting the farmers, forgetting that the farmers must sell.
Yeah.
So if I'm not able to buy, then that farmer dies. He will just grow the crop and he's not able to sell. And
I agree. I think
the support goes to
honestly, and you've changed my thinking about something that I thought I knew. I think that these initiatives need to be at state level, because it is a state that understands the granularity of what you're doing.
True.
You know what I mean?
Someone
sitting in federal, I've sat in federal. You know, they say farmers, I don't know where you are, but here you are in Oyo State, in Isheyin local government. Your impact, nobody in this local government will say they don't know what you do. In fact, just to prove it, we got lost. Google misled us and took us somewhere else completely. Pulled over a bike. We're going to Psaltry. Psaltry! Up he jumped. Even as we were coming here, the number of bikes coming here. So I think that, you know, they say all politics is local. I think all business is local.
Yeah.
So if our policies are going to work, they've got to be built from the bottom up. It can't be someone sitting in Abuja and we expect them to understand. You know, that's why I came here. Because if I invited you to VI and you sat in my studio,
you can't understand.
Nobody will see this. Nobody will see the number of trucks coming in. Nobody will see that as we drove along, we just saw loading. We saw cassava by the road, trucks being loaded, and they're headed here. So, yeah, I mean, I have friends in government, and maybe we need to start having these conversations afresh now that I'm
happy
seeing
that
it.
you are here and you are understanding
I'm
this.
not in government. I'm out. But
you have
we can talk.
You've got guys there.
We can call. We can have discussions. But I think we need maybe to rethink how we're forming our policies and make them more state-driven. You know, the states know what support does she need, you know, and tailor it to what you do, because 25,000 women, mainly women, are dependent on you. They're, like you said, children going to school. Amazing testimonials. I could go on and on talking about how wonderful you are, because I mean it from my heart. I'm so proud of you and so happy to be here. So happy with what you've achieved. And thank you so much for taking time out to explain your beautiful story. And we wish you all the best. I'm feeling that we're going to see this company, you know,
Sure you
there.
will. Sure you will.
Listed, Psaltry
Sure
PLC.
you will. Sure you
Fantastic.
will.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.